Have you ever stopped to wonder why two people can go through the exact same experience, yet walk away feeling completely different? One sees possibility, the other sees disaster. The answer lies in something far more powerful than circumstance. It lies in what you've been feeding your mind. Here's a truth that changes everything. Your mind doesn't just process the world, it builds it. Whatever you consistently pour into it, whether that's hope or fear, clarity or confusion, love or resentment, it takes that raw material and constructs your reality from the inside out. As the Buddha so profoundly observed, what you think, you become. So the real question is, what are you becoming? Today, we're diving into 7 life-changing lessons rooted in Buddhist wisdom that will show you exactly how to nourish your mind so you can build a life rich with peace, purpose, and genuine fulfillment. Lesson 1: Your thoughts are the blueprint of your life. Buddhism has long understood something that modern science is only beginning to catch up with. Thoughts aren't passive. They are active, living forces that shape everything: your words, your actions, your entire direction in life. Think of your mind as a garden. Every single thought you entertain is a seed. Plant seeds of compassion, patience, and understanding, and in time, those qualities will bloom throughout your life. But neglect that garden, let seeds of anger, envy, and greed take root, and what grows is suffering, anxiety, and a restlessness that never quite settles. This is precisely why mindfulness and meditation sit at the very heart of Buddhist practice. When you observe your thoughts, without getting swept away by them, you gain the extraordinary ability to choose which seeds you water. You stop being a passive bystander in your own mind and become its conscious gardener. The Buddha placed right thought as a cornerstone of the Noble Eightfold Path, not as a suggestion, but as a foundation. Begin deliberately feeding your mind with thoughts rooted in kindness, gratitude, and resilience, and watch as both your inner world and outer reality begin to shift in ways you never imagined possible. Lesson 2: Be intentional about what you let in. Your mind is not a fortress, it's more like a sponge. And just like a sponge, it absorbs whatever it's surrounded by. Buddhist teaching refers to this as guarding the sense doors, being deeply mindful of what you allow to enter your consciousness through what you see, hear, read, and the company you keep. Take an honest look at your daily inputs. If you're constantly swimming in a sea of negative news cycles, toxic conversations, and environments soaked in gossip and drama, your mind will reflect exactly that: cluttered, anxious, and heavy. You cannot expect clarity from a mind filled with noise. Now flip that picture. Surround yourself with the teachings of the Dharma, with people who genuinely uplift and support you, with environments that breathe calm and encouragement, and your inner landscape transforms completely. Make it a daily habit to pause and ask yourself, what am I allowing into my mind today? Perhaps it's a few minutes of guided meditation in the morning, a passage from a Buddhist text over lunch, or a quiet walk in nature as the sun sets. These aren't grand gestures, they're small, deliberate acts that, over time, sculpt a mind of extraordinary peace and clarity. Lesson 3: Wake up from autopilot. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Most of us are not actually living our lives, we're reacting to them. We move through our days on autopilot, responding to people and situations not from a place of awareness, but from deeply grooved patterns of habit patterns, often carved by old fears, past wounds, and social conditioning we never consciously chose. Buddhism identifies this mindless reactivity as one of the most significant barriers to inner freedom, and it makes sense when you're running on autopilot. Your mind isn't yours. It belongs to your history. Mindfulness is the tool that breaks this cycle. The next time you feel a strong reaction, rising frustration, defensiveness, anxiety, don't act on it immediately. Pause. Look at the thought beneath the reaction. Is it fear speaking? Jealousy? An old story you've been telling yourself for years? Acknowledge it without judgment. And then, this is the powerful part, consciously choose how you want to respond. Every single time you interrupt that automatic reaction, you reclaim a piece of your mind. And over time, what once felt like a reflex becomes a choice, and you find yourself responding from a place of genuine calm and compassion, rather than inherited chaos. Lesson 4. Let difficulty be your greatest teacher. Nobody gets through life without hardship. Buddhism doesn't promise otherwise. In fact, it openly acknowledges that suffering is woven into the fabric of human experience. But here's where Buddhist wisdom diverges from our instincts. It doesn't tell us to run from suffering. It tells us to sit with it, because within every difficulty lives a lesson we desperately need. Watch how Buddhist monks approach discomfort. Rather than fleeing it, they lean in. Challenges become training grounds for patience, resilience, and the art of letting go, not because suffering is enjoyable, but because resisting it only deepens the wound. The next time life hands you something hard, try shifting the question from, "Why is this happening to me?" to "What is this here to teach me?" That single reframe is transformative. It moves you from victim to student, and students grow. Feed your mind this perspective consistently, and you'll discover something remarkable, that your greatest struggles have quietly been your greatest teachers all along, equipping you with a depth of wisdom and inner strength that ease never could. Lesson 5. Make gratitude a daily practice, not a reaction. Most people think of gratitude as something you feel after something good happens. Buddhist teaching flips this completely. Gratitude is something you practice, and through that practice, good things become visible that were always there. The Buddha recognized that the human mind has a powerful pull toward craving, always reaching for what isn't here yet, always measuring what's missing, perpetually searching for happiness somewhere just beyond the present moment. And that endless reaching is exhausting. It keeps fulfillment permanently one step ahead of you. Gratitude is the antidote. It gently redirects your attention from the gap between where you are and where you want to be, toward the quiet richness that already surrounds you, the warmth of morning sunlight, the comfort of a familiar drink, the simple beauty of a flower catching the light. These aren't small things. They are life, fully present, waiting to be noticed. Start each morning by naming 3 things you're genuinely grateful for. Keep it real, keep it personal. Over time, this simple practice rewires the way your mind scans the world, training it to seek out what's good rather than what's wrong. And here's where it becomes especially powerful. During your hardest moments, when stress, worry, or sadness has you in its grip, gratitude becomes a lifeline. It doesn't minimize the difficulty. It simply reminds you that even in the darkness, there is still light. A friend who shows up, a moment of stillness, a reason, however small, to feel held. As this practice deepens, something beautiful happens. That restless hunger for more begins to quiet. A sense of genuine contentment settles in, not complacency, but peace. The kind of peace that doesn't depend on circumstances, because it comes from within. Lesson 6. Visualize who you are becoming. Visualization in Buddhism isn't about wishful thinking or imagining a life of luxury. It's a serious, disciplined form of mental training known as bhavana, or mental cultivation, used to grow qualities like compassion, focus, patience, and mindfulness from the inside out. The principle is elegant. When you vividly picture yourself already embodying a quality you're working toward, your brain doesn't entirely distinguish between the imagined and the real. Studies have confirmed what Buddhist meditators have known for centuries: visualizing an action lights up the same neural pathways as actually performing it. You are literally rewiring your mind. Try this. If you want to cultivate more patience, don't just hope for it. Sit in stillness, close your eyes, and paint a vivid picture. See yourself in a tense moment, responding with calm, speaking with warmth, carrying peace in your posture. Hear the tone of your voice. Feel the steadiness in your chest. The more specific and sensory you make it, the deeper the roots grow. Over time, what you visualize stops feeling like a distant aspiration and starts feeling like who you already are. And that shift in identity changes everything, because we consistently act in alignment with how we see ourselves. This extends beyond qualities to your broader life vision. If inner peace is your goal, visualize yourself moving through life's inevitable storms with grace, grounded, unshaken, free. Let that image become a mental anchor you can return to whenever reality gets turbulent. Visualization bridges the space between intention and action. It's not about chasing a better version of yourself. It's about awakening the potential that Buddhist teaching says already lives within you. As you consistently hold this vision, the best version of yourself stops feeling like a dream and starts feeling like a homecoming. Lesson 7: Be as kind to yourself as you are to others. Of all the lessons, this one may be the most quietly revolutionary. The way you speak to yourself matters deeply and profoundly. Self-compassion sits at the very heart of the Buddhist path. The Buddha taught that the journey toward enlightenment cannot be walked with a whip in your own hand. Yet for so many of us, the moment we make a mistake or fall short of our own expectations, the inner critic arrives swiftly and without mercy, layering on guilt, shame, and a gnawing sense of unworthiness. Buddhism sees this pattern clearly and calls it out for what it is: not discipline, not accountability, but suffering. Self-judgment without compassion doesn't build you up. It tears you down while calling itself motivation. Metta-loving kindness meditation offers a powerful alternative. It begins with something beautifully simple, directing kindness toward yourself first. Phrases like, "May I be happy," "May I be at peace," "May I be free from suffering," repeated sincerely. These words don't just feel good, they gradually reshape the inner dialogue, replacing the harsh critic with a steadier, gentler voice. Forgiveness is equally essential. Buddhist practice understands that clinging to past mistakes is not penance, it's a prison. When you release the weight of old regrets and grant yourself the forgiveness you'd freely offer a dear friend, you create something remarkable. Space. Space to grow. Space to breathe. Space to move forward with a lighter heart. There's also a liberating concept in Buddhism called anatta non-self, which reminds us that we are not fixed, rigid beings defined by our worst moments. We are fluid, ever evolving, capable of profound transformation at any point. Your past does not have to be your permanent address. And here's the ripple effect of all this self-compassion. As you grow gentler with yourself, you naturally grow gentler with everyone around you. Your relationships deepen. Your empathy expands. You become someone who can truly offer love without the need to judge, because you've already learned not to judge yourself. Being kind to yourself is not weakness. It is, in fact, the very source of inner strength, the foundation from which real healing, genuine resilience, and lasting peace are built. Final thought: in Buddhism, the mind reflects exactly what it is fed. Every thought you entertain, every experience you invite in, every influence you allow to take root, all of it quietly constructs the world you live in. You have more power over your life than you may realize. And that power doesn't live somewhere out there in the future. It lives in the choices you make right now, in this moment, about what you allow your mind to dwell on. So choose consciously. Choose growth over fear. Choose compassion over criticism. Choose presence over autopilot. And begin today, because every single moment is a fresh opportunity to decide what you feed your mind. If these principles have stirred something in you, share this with someone who needs it. Like this video and subscribe for more wisdom rooted in timeless teachings. Your journey toward a transformed mind and a more peaceful life doesn't start someday, it starts now.